Ladies and gentlemen, heartbreak has a way of stopping you in your tracks. It doesn't knock before it enters, doesn't ask permission to stay, and it certainly doesn't apologize for the mess it leaves behind. Whether it comes from a broken relationship, a shattered dream, or the sting of betrayal, heartbreak speaks in a language of pain, fear, and doubt. 1. Acknowledge the pain. The first step toward healing is acknowledging the pain. Too often, we're taught to bury our emotions, to keep moving as if nothing has happened. Society applauds resilience, but it rarely gives permission for vulnerability. We hear phrases like, be strong, or don't let them see you cry. But let me tell you something, there's strength in honesty. There's power in saying, I'm hurting. When you deny the pain, you deny yourself the opportunity to heal. Pain that isn't processed doesn't disappear, it festers. It shows up in unexpected ways in your relationships, in your decisions, and even in your health. Suppressed pain is like a seed planted in the soil of your soul. It grows roots of bitterness, resentment, and self-doubt. Acknowledging your pain doesn't mean you're weak, it means you're human. It's about facing the reality of your feelings without judgment. It's about allowing yourself to grieve what was lost, to honor the love, the effort, or the hope you invested. Grieving isn't a sign of failure, it's a step toward freedom. Sometimes pain is loud, it screams in your mind, demanding attention. Other times it's quiet, whispering in the background as you go through the motions of life. Whether it's a roar or a murmur, you must give it space to be heard. Sit with it, name it, write it down if you have to. Say, I feel betrayed, or I feel abandoned, or I feel unworthy. Speak the truth of what's weighing on your heart. But here's the key you don't unpack and live there. Acknowledging the pain is not about wallowing in it. It's about bringing it into the light where it can no longer hide and hold power over you. Denial keeps you stuck, but acknowledgement begins the journey toward liberation. To heal your heartbreak, you must be brave enough to admit that you're hurting. Don't pretend it doesn't exist. Don't mask it with distractions or drown it in busyness. Face it. Acknowledge it. And in doing so, you start to reclaim the parts of yourself that the heartbreak tried to steal. 2. Guard your mind. Your mind is a battlefield and your thoughts are the soldiers. In the midst of heartbreak, those soldiers can either fight for your healing or for your hurt. What you allow into your mind will determine whether you remain shackled to the past or step into the freedom of a new beginning. Heartbreak often gives rise to negative self-talk, and those words echo in your mind louder than they should. Thoughts like, I'm not good enough, or I'll never find happiness again, begin to take root. They create a narrative that feels real, but is nothing more than a lie dressed up in pain. You have to be vigilant. You have to guard your mind like a fortress under siege, because the enemy of negativity is relentless in its attack. It's easy to dwell on what went wrong, replaying moments of failure, rejection, or betrayal over and over again. But every time you do, you deepen the groove of negativity in your mental pathways. It's like walking the same path through a field until a trench is formed. It becomes harder and harder to step out of it. To guard your mind means to recognize when you're stuck in those mental trenches and actively choose to climb out. You can't stop every negative thought from entering your mind, but you can choose what you allow to stay. When a thought comes that whispers you're unlovable, you counter it with, I am worthy of love. When doubt tells you you're not strong enough to move forward, you respond with, I have everything I need to rise again. It's not about denying reality, it's about choosing a better reality, one built on truth and hope rather than fear and despair. Guarding your mind also means being mindful of what you consume, the books you read, the shows you watch, the conversations you engage in. These are all seeds planted in your mental garden. If you're constantly feeding yourself with negativity, cynicism, or hopelessness, it will grow. But if you choose to surround yourself with words, ideas, and people that uplift and inspire, you'll find your perspective begins to shift. This isn't an overnight process. Guarding your mind requires discipline and intentionality. It's about creating new habits that prioritize your mental and emotional well-being. Meditation, prayer, journaling, or even affirmations can be tools to help fortify your mind against the onslaught of negativity. And don't underestimate the power of gratitude. When heartbreak tries to convince you that everything is lost, gratitude reminds you of what remains. It shifts your focus from lack to abundance, from despair to possibility. Even in the midst of pain, there is something to be grateful for: a lesson learned, a moment of strength, a glimmer of hope. To guard your mind is to take control of the narrative, to refuse to let heartbreak define your thoughts and your future. It's a daily battle, but one that is worth fighting, because your mind is the seat of your power. So what you allow to reside there will shape not only how you heal, but also who you become in the process. 3, redefine the experience. Heartbreak often feels like a defining moment, a heavy stamp on the pages of your life that declares failure, loss, or broken. But hear me clearly, the meaning of your heartbreak is not written in stone. You have the power to redefine it. What happened to you doesn't have to define you, it can refine you. When we go through pain, it's natural to fixate on the why. Why did this happen? Why did they leave? Why wasn't I enough? But the why can become a trap, a loop of unanswered questions that only deepens the wound. Instead of asking why, shift your focus to what? What can I learn from this? What is this teaching me about myself, about others, about the life I want to live? Redefining the experience is not about sugarcoating the pain or pretending it didn't hurt. It's about finding the purpose in the pain. Every heartbreak carries a lesson, a hidden gem buried beneath the rubble of disappointment. Maybe it's teaching you resilience, the ability to stand strong when everything feels like it's falling apart. Maybe it's revealing areas where you need to grow, where you've been settling, or where boundaries need to be established. I think of heartbreak as a mirror. It reflects not just the circumstances, but also the deeper truths about your desires, your fears, and your values. When you redefine the experience, you're not erasing the hurt, you're giving it a new lens, one that empowers rather than diminishes you. Consider this: some of the most powerful transformations in life are birthed from moments of pain. The artist creates their greatest masterpiece after a period of struggle. The entrepreneur builds an empire after experiencing failure. The person who thought they'd never love again discovers a relationship more profound than they ever imagined. Heartbreak, when redefined, becomes a catalyst for growth, a springboard into a new chapter that you couldn't have imagined before. But redefining the experience requires you to challenge the narrative you've been telling yourself. It's easy to see heartbreak as a dead end, a final blow, but what if it's a door closing to redirect you to something greater? What if it's the pruning that prepares you for new growth? When a tree is pruned, it looks bare and broken, but the pruning is necessary for it to flourish. Your heartbreak may be the pruning that sets you up for a season of abundance. You also have to separate what happened from who you are. The loss of a relationship doesn't mean you're unworthy of love. The failure of a dream doesn't mean you're incapable of success. What happened is an event, it is not your identity. Redefining the experience means reclaiming your power to write the next chapter of your story, one where heartbreak is a part of the journey but not the end of the road. This process takes courage. It means facing the pain with open eyes and an open heart. It means letting go of the victim mentality and stepping into the role of a big victor. It means seeing yourself not as someone who has been broken, but as someone who is being rebuilt. Every piece of your story, even the painful ones, has the potential to shape you into something stronger, wiser, and more compassionate. 4, the power of forgiveness. Forgiveness is one of the most misunderstood and difficult acts of the human experience, especially in the face of heartbreak. When someone wounds you deeply, when trust is shattered, when love is betrayed, forgiveness can feel like surrendering to defeat or absolving someone of the hurt they caused. But forgiveness is not about them, it's about freeing yourself. Holding on to anger, resentment, or bitterness is like gripping a hot coal with the intent of throwing it at someone else. The longer you hold it, the more you burn yourself. Forgiveness doesn't deny the wrong that was done or dismiss the pain you endured, it acknowledges it. But it also declares that the pain no longer has the power to control you. Many people struggle with forgiveness because they equate it with reconciliation. Let me be clear, forgiveness and reconciliation are not the same thing. Forgiveness is a one-way street. It's a decision you make for your own peace, regardless of whether the other person deserves it, apologizes, or even acknowledges the harm they caused. Reconciliation, on the other hand, is a two-way process that requires mutual trust and effort. You can forgive someone without ever letting them back into your life. Forgiveness is not a single act, it's a journey. There will be days when the anger resurfaces, when the memories feel fresh and the pain feels raw. On those days, forgiveness may look like a daily, even hourly decision to release the burden again. It's like peeling back layers of an onion. Each layer reveals more healing, more freedom, and more clarity. But forgiveness isn't just about others, it's also about forgiving yourself. Heartbreak often leaves you questioning your own actions, blaming yourself for what went wrong, and carrying the weight of regret. You replay moments where you think, if only I had done this, or if only I hadn't said that, but holding yourself hostage to the past doesn't change it. It only robs you of peace in the present. Forgive yourself for what you didn't know, for the mistakes you made, for the times you stayed too long or walked away too soon. Extend the same grace to yourself that you would offer to a dear friend. Forgiveness is an act of courage. It's choosing to let go of the narrative that someone else's actions have the power to define your life. It's deciding that your peace is more important than holding on to a grudge. It's declaring that the heartbreak, while real and painful, will not be the final word in your story. The beauty of forgiveness is that it breaks chains you didn't even realize were holding you. It opens the door to healing, allowing you to move forward without the weight of the past dragging behind you. When you forgive, you reclaim your power. You take back the emotional energy that heartbreak tried to steal from you and redirect it toward building a future filled with love, hope, and purpose. True forgiveness is an act of love for yourself and the life you deserve. It doesn't erase the pain, but it releases its grip on your heart. It transforms bitterness into wisdom, anger into understanding, and hurt into resilience. Forgiveness is not about forgetting what happened. It's about choosing not to let it define who you are or limit who you can become. 5, surround yourself with positivity. The company you keep, the environment you create, and the voices you listen to play a powerful role in shaping how you process heartbreak. After experiencing pain, it's easy to isolate yourself, to withdraw from the world and sit in the silence of your own thoughts. But solitude, while sometimes necessary, can also become a breeding ground for negativity. That's why it's crucial to intentionally surround yourself with positivity during your healing journey. Positivity doesn't mean ignoring the pain or pretending that everything is fine. It means creating an environment that nurtures hope, growth, and resilience. Start by evaluating the people in your life. Are they lifting you up or pulling you down? Do they speak life into your future, or do they keep reminding you of the pain? Not everyone deserves a front row seat in your healing journey. Some people's words and actions will only pour salt on your wounds. Choose to distance yourself from those who fuel your doubts, magnify your pain, or diminish your worth. Instead, gravitate toward those who bring light into your life, friends who listen without judgment, mentors who offer wisdom, and loved ones who encourage you to move forward. Your physical environment also matters. Surround yourself with beauty, even in small ways. Open the windows to let in sunlight. Bring fresh flowers into your home. Create a space that feels safe and comforting, a sanctuary where you can rest and reflect without distraction. When your surroundings are bright and inviting, they can subtly lift your spirits and remind you that life still holds joy. Another critical aspect of positivity is the information you consume. In this digital age, we are constantly bombarded with messages on social media, in the news, through entertainment. After heartbreak, it's easy to gravitate towards sad songs, heartbreaking movies, or even content that glorifies pain and despair. But be mindful of what you feed your soul. Music, books, podcasts, and shows that inspire hope and resilience can be powerful tools in reshaping your perspective. Seek out stories of triumph over adversity. Read about people who turned their pain into purpose, who overcame challenges and created beauty from ashes. These stories remind you that you're not alone and that healing is not only possible but inevitable if you commit to the process. Positivity also comes through action. Engage in activities that bring you joy, even if they feel small or insignificant. Take a walk in nature, paint a picture, dance to your favorite song, or volunteer for a cause you care about. These moments of joy, however fleeting they may seem, create pockets of light in the darkness and remind you of the good that still exists in the world. Most importantly, positivity is about mindset. It's about choosing every day to focus on what is going right rather than what went wrong. Gratitude plays a key role here. Even when it feels like your world is falling apart, there is always something to be thankful for: a friend who checks in, a beautiful sunset, or the simple fact that you've made it through another day. Gratitude shifts your focus from lack to abundance, and abundance is fertile ground for healing. Surrounding yourself with positivity doesn't mean avoiding hard truths or difficult emotions. It means creating a foundation of strength and support that helps you face those challenges with courage and grace. It means filling your life with reminders that the pain is temporary, that healing is possible, and that better days are ahead. Positivity is not just a feeling, it's a choice, a daily practice of aligning yourself with the people, places, and practices that lift you higher. 6, focus forward. Heartbreak has a way of gluing your eyes to the rearview mirror, making you replay the past over and over again. What went wrong? What could have been different? Why didn't it work? These questions loop endlessly in your mind, keeping you tied to a moment that's already behind you. But to truly heal, you must turn your gaze from the past to the horizon. You must focus forward. Focusing forward doesn't mean forgetting what happened or dismissing your emotions. It means making a conscious decision to not let the past define your future. Heartbreak may have been part of your story, but it's not the whole story. The chapters yet to be written are still in your hands, and they hold the promise of growth, joy, and new beginnings. One of the biggest challenges in focusing forward is letting go of the what ifs. What if I had tried harder? What if I hadn't said those words? What if things had been different? The what ifs are a trap, a mental maze with no exit. They keep you stuck in a cycle of regret, preventing you from stepping into the present and envisioning the future. To focus forward, you have to close the door on the what ifs and accept the reality of what is. Acceptance doesn't mean you approve of what happened. It means you're no longer resisting it. Begin by envisioning the life you want to create. Who do you want to be on the other side of this heartbreak? What kind of relationships, experiences, and opportunities do you want to invite into your life? Let yourself dream again, even if it feels uncomfortable. Heartbreak often convinces you that the best is behind you, but that's a lie. The best is yet to come if you have the courage to believe in it. Set small, tangible goals that help you move forward. These goals don't have to be monumental. It could be as simple as signing up for a class, starting a new hobby, or taking a trip you've always wanted to take. Each small step forward builds momentum, reminding you that life continues and that you have the power to shape it. Focusing forward also requires you to embrace the unknown. After heartbreak, it's natural to crave certainty, to want a clear roadmap of what's next. But life doesn't work that way. The path ahead may be unclear, but that doesn't mean it's not filled with promise. Trust that each step you take will reveal the next, and have faith that the journey is leading you to something greater. Surround yourself with symbols of hope. It could be a vision board, a mantra you repeat to yourself daily, or even a reminder on your phone that says, keep going. These small acts of intention create a shift in your mindset, helping you stay focused on what lies ahead rather than what lies behind. And when the past calls, because it will acknowledge it but don't answer it, you can honor the lessons you've learned without living in the shadow of the pain. The past has no power to hurt you unless you give it permission. Redirect your energy toward what you can control, the choices you make today and the steps you take tomorrow. The beauty of focusing forward is that it restores your sense of agency. Heartbreak can make you feel powerless, as if life is happening to you rather than through you. But when you choose to focus forward, you reclaim that power. You become an active participant in your healing and your future. As the horizon may seem distant now, but every step you take brings you closer to it. Each day, each moment is an opportunity to rebuild, to dream, and to grow. The future is not something to fear. It's a blank canvas waiting for the colors you choose to paint it with.